Okay, let's run.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it.
It's a quest. It's a quest for fun.
Well, The Rock says, why don't we just cut right to the chase?
Okay, now he wants to get together. Well, he wants to talk.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
It's showtime, folks!
What are you?
I'm...
Greetings, salutations. This is, and I quote, a weekly show where we introduce some of the best creators from all over the world, and we find out more about them by taking your questions. I'm your host, Ryan of And I Quote Channel, and our guest on this week's episode is indie comic creator Kerry Chugg is in the building. Hello, good sir. How are you today?
Doing well. Thanks, Ryan, for having me.
You're quite welcome, good sir. We're happy that you are here. We're also happy that you are here who may be watching or listening to this right now. So do yourselves a favor. Don't forget to like and share. If you're watching this live on a replay, thank you for doing so. If you have any questions for our guest of honor, let us know in those comments. Let us know in the chat. Be more than happy to take those as they come in respectively. So with that being said, Kerry, what would you say were some of your favorite comic book writers or artists growing up, or even now?
So I've always been a fan of Jeff Loeb and his Batman work with Superman for All Seasons. I've read Spider-Man Blue. I've read Old Gray. I love Long Halloween. I love Dark Victory. I love Hush. And so also I like Mark Waid a lot. I love his Justice League run and Superman Birthright. And I've backtracked. I've liked what Jack Kirby both wrote and drew. I'm not the biggest Marvel fan, but I love what he did with New Gods, and I mean I always envy of anybody who can both write and draw. So we got that, and who else do I really like? Brian Michael Bendis, just not with the Superman run, with what he did with Spider-Man, and I could go on.
No, it's a great list, though. It's a great list. And there's some really good comic book writers, artists, and some good runs there, too. Yeah, I was introduced to comic books. Friends of mine took me to a comic book shop, and then one of the first things that I gravitated towards was Kingdom Come by Mark Waid and Alex Ross. I freaking love that. So that's what got me into comics, and it's my favorite graphic novel of all time. I've met Mark Waid. He signed it for me. He actually signed issue number 1 of Kingdom Come. I got it graded in slabs, so it's in my collection, which is great. And I had a conversation with him on the podcast a while back, so that was a lot of fun too. So yeah, that was really fun to pick his brain.
Yes,
about Kingdom Come, because I'm thinking to myself, I'm looking at this artwork, and it's not just any kind of artwork. It's like looking at a mural. It's it's like something out of the Sistine Chapel or something. It's ridiculous,
right.
Awesome. So great collaboration between what was it, Waid and Alex Ross for sure.
Yes, and I mean I'm not the biggest fan of Dark Knight Returns, and I consider that to be my alternative. Kingdom Come, or read that. As far as the the old age Batman is concerned, I thought what he did was brilliant with the age versions of Superman as well, and Wonder Woman, all those, and get those neo heroes in line.
Yeah, that was definitely a great storyline for sure. What would you say are some of your favorite comic book based TV series, past or present?
So, TV series, I'm over the moon that Tubi, I've always taken advantage of it, and has put up an Incredible Hulk from the late 70s. I mean, it was Lou Ferrigno. He inspired me to become a gym rat. I really wanted to work out because of what I saw there, and I was a huge fan of Batman in the animated series. I think they got it perfect. They brilliantly used that basic design where he wasn't too immaculate or anything like that. I know that they wanted to do that to streamline it, to simplify it. It worked, and stories were compelling. There was a lot of pathos to what Kevin Conroy brought to Batman, and Mark Hamill. There's a reason why he put up the best Joker, even though he was kind of a last minute replacement. And only backtrack again, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. That probably indoctrinated me on the Marvel universe more than anything. when I was in my younger years. And we can go forward ahead again. The Disney Avengers as of late, those cartoons have been a lot of fun. They really get into the spirit of what the MCU was supposed to be about, and Marvel in general.
Really good names there. You're the second person who's mentioned Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends within the last week. Because last week we had Philip Russer to Philbo Distribution on this show,
Yes.
and he kept saying how much he loves the '80s, and his favorite one of his favorite things in the world is Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. He just kept going on and on how much he loved it. And I'm thinking, okay. I mean, I've seen reruns of it when I was, personally when I was growing up, and I know it's on the, Disney Plus. We can go back.
Yes.
So I don't know. Maybe I need to go back and revisit Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends there, Phil. And Kerry, respectively. I got to go back and rewatch some of this stuff. But no, that there's some really good ones out there for sure. And it's funny too, because in my film class when we were in college, we had to watch an episode of The Incredible Hulk featuring Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno. And for a show that was made for that time, it's a really good show.
Yeah.
Really well put together. For something that was made in the late 70s, early 80s, I think, if I remember correctly,
Yeah.
that show has a lot of depth to it.
It does.
It really does. And I'm thinking, why can't we get this? Why can't we get this in today's society? I want to see a deep exploration of Bruce Banner and his struggle with the Hulk and trying to find a cure and all this other stuff. He can't be with someone because of what's going on with him. Like, it's a really good it's an internal and external struggle that really needs to be seen on television. I'm glad I own The Incredible Hulk on DVD so I can go back and watch this. Or, like you said, with Tubi, you can go back on Tubi and watch it now, which is great, by the way, because Tubi has tons and tons of free stuff.
Yes. I mean, I guess if you can't stand having commercials, I'll understand if you're not interested. But if you can see past having commercials, absolutely get into it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Really, really good stuff. On the opposite side of the fence, though, favorite comic-based movies, past or present?
I mean, I'm kind of riding the wave on what I loved of Superman with David Cornsweet, and like what you said, message that we need to hear today. I mean, David Cornsweet, he's kind of the Mr. Rogers Superman, where we can believe that he's that tough guy who can throw his weight around and kick a lot of butt, and at the same time compassion. I totally believe from him that compassion is the new punk rock.
Yeah. I remember seeing it in the theater, and I had a good reaction to it. I didn't love the movie, but I liked it enough to where I said, you know what, this new direction they're taking the DC cinematic universe, I'm interested. So we'll see where it goes. Supergirl's coming out in a month, so see how that goes. The Supergirl movie with Millie Alcock, if I'm remembering her name correctly.
Right.
And I'm looking, I'm interested to see how that goes, because the last time we got a Supergirl movie, it didn't turn out very well in the '80s, guys. It did not turn out very well at all. Helen Slater was a great casting choice, yes.
It's perfect.
But the movie around her was just, it was awful. We actually our professor at the time at college, he had us watch the European extended cut of Supergirl, and I'm thinking, can this movie get any worse? It's just horrendously bad, and it's nothing against Helen Slater, because I respect her, I like her a lot, but it's just, Helen, you deserve better. You deserve so much better than what you got in that freaking movie.
I can remember how she establishes herself that she's going to clobber you, and she says, "I'm Kara from Argo City, and I don't scare easily." And that's that's how you intimidate me.
Yeah, and then a second later, she's spooked out of her mind when she gets sucked into the Phantom Zone with Peter O'Toole, who's drunk off his rear end, by the way. He doesn't know where he is or what he's doing.
Totally looks like that. We know what's in that squirt stuff.
Yeah. Yes. Referring back to the squirt bottle that was used earlier in the film, I believe. So, yeah, it's just. Anyway, as a diehard Superman fan, it just hurts. It just hurts. But we'll see how the new one does. But anything is possible. You got Momoa coming back as Lobo, which he's been campaigning for that for like the last 20 years of his career. So see how that goes. See how it goes, Jason Boy. You kicked tail as Aquaman, though. I liked your run as Aquaman, but see how you do as Lobo, as the intergalactic bounty hunter. as that goes. Once again, this is Andy Quote. Don't forget to like and share if you're watching us live on the replay. Thank you for doing so. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. More than happy to hear from you respectively. So when did you start writing?
So, I mean, I use my amateur drawings to draw what I wanted this character to look like, and I was kind of creating a mythos, and I thought to myself, this is just to get it out of my system of what I think would be a cool character, and I didn't. I was thinking to myself, I can't imagine that I would actually get this out, and uh, and I mean, it was internally kind of trying to come out that I wanted to share it with friends and coworkers. So finally I did. And one guy who just happened to also be an artist, he talked about setting a deal where he could draw for it. And I thought, well, it's worth a try. And that fell through, but I was far enough, writing and everything like that, it was like, okay, there's no turning back now. And so, and here's what I have to say about writing is that, it's key that you got to learn the main principles of storytelling. And, learning isn't enough because you're going to have to go through hours of just writing and learning what actually works, and getting the feedback of those around you. What do we need to do differently? And but yeah, I had to go through a lot of that. And on the there's one other artist who I picked up, and that too fell through because and both of us agreed that we still needed to hone our crafts. So this was like 2001, and I, it was hard to figure out just how to find an artist. We didn't have the the ready resources we do now. So it was about 2014 before I finally figured out how I was going to budget it, pay an artist, find an artist, and we. It was about 2017 that I got Sledge number 1 illustrated, and I thought, okay, I can't expect DC, Marvel, or Image to take this. Why do I, I saw all these smaller publishers, so surely one of them is going to pick me up. But on each of the applications, they all ask, what's your publishing history? And I mean, it was when in the hindsight on that I realized, okay, I know there's still too much. The competition's still too stiff to get in for this be your first publication, to publish it through publishers. So it had to be self-publishing, and that was my next big hurdle. I mean, I'm a writer, and I was given the materials, but I see all these instructions of what I got to do, that the page sizes have to be just right, and the DPI has to be right. Well, how do I do that? And it was only a few months ago that I learned, okay, you can do that with Photoshop. But then I learned that there was this free app named GIMP, and make sure you go to the website and download it from there. Don't just Google it and click the first thing that comes up, because that comes with malware. But it was key for me to be able to make sure everything was the right fit and the right DPI. So it was 2020 when I finally got that issue number 1 published through Indie Planet under through the Kablam printing services.
Oh wow! Thank you for sharing all this. That is definitely an extraordinary journey, and congratulations on all that. By the way,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. What would you say are some of the rewards about being an indie comic creator?
The rewards, I mean, you've got your own ideas that just you want to get out. And I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I love Batman. I love Superman. Just every time I look at that, I think of something else that I would like to see happen, what kind of character I'd like to see come out, and that was the basis for creating Sledge. And you know, it's been published. I still really need to work really hard to be able to publish more. But yes, that hard work that pays off, and my ideas are coming out for everybody to see.
Ah, Excelente, excelente. On the flip side of the coin, though, what are some of the challenges about being an indie comic creator?
Uh, Marketing is tough, and I don't know. I mean, it didn't really. I didn't feel ready to go to conventions until I had my first 3 issues published in a miniseries, and that was in 2025, last year in July. And well, no, I'm sorry, it was July of 2024. And uh, what I realized then was, okay, it wasn't getting out. But once you manage to have that out, once you're doing the what's available as far as networking is concerned, meeting other creators, and I found out. I mean, my network just blew up. My networking just blew up when I went to my first convention, because I met all the others. They were interested in what I was creating. They wanted some of that, and I wanted some of theirs. And with that, we really we try to help each other to get all that out. But yeah, I mean, it's one huge hurdle to well, okay, it's not the biggest hurdle to write the series. It's the biggest hurdle to figure out how to get the artist and pay for the artist to do the work. And then it's a difficulty to format it. Then it's the difficulty, getting it published, and then you realize it hits you right in the face. Getting brand awareness, marketing, that is truly the biggest hurdle.
Most certainly, most certainly. What advice would you offer to aspiring creators out there?
So uh, on that, I mean, learn right away what you need to do. I mean, talk to people around you about what you need to do to make sure everything is formatted uh, so that it can be published. And as soon as you can, find out you don't have to go that far to find fellow indie creators. Use Facebook, readily share your stuff, comment on what others have to show that you're not just in it for yourself. But and again, with you'll usually you should be able to find localized like Facebook pages for indie creators, and connect there. But again, you don't feel the true blue connection until you meet them at conventions.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, definitely meet people. Social media is one thing, but when you meet people in person, you're talking to them and they're hearing your ideas and all this other stuff, they can help you with that. So it's definitely definitely good advice to take into consideration for sure. So for someone who's unfamiliar with these characters in this universe, what exactly is this series here, and this one particularly with Sledge? What exactly is Sledge, and how did it come about?
So, and one of the things that always stayed at the back of my mind was one science teacher I had in high school, who in the beginning of every class he would talk about something sciencey that might pique the interest of teenagers. He was pretty good at it, and one time uh, he was talking about Star Wars and talking about speeders and how they managed to hover over the ground, and talking about maybe perhaps someday we'll figure out a way to reverse the Earth's magnetism, and that stimulated my thinking, and not just think hovering. Maybe you can magnify it that much that you can fly, and so I could think about, okay, things started to swim in my head about an artificial Superman. And what's interesting about that science basic thing was I made a friend who was a physics major. he found out about what I was putting together comic book wise, and he said, okay, there's that magnetism theory, but you have the better theory is what is called gravitons, and in theory, if you can reverse the polarity of gravitons, you can fly. So that was that, and
this hypothetical particle is known as the graviton. This answer is.
Don't ask me where that came from. Then, my phone just somehow heard me ask about gravitons. Anyway, so I've always been a fan of Batman for him being a mortal who's a product of his own hard work, and so his fighting powers are his muscles and his skills. So I thought, that's why I wanted to implement there that he was human, and that he had to fight. So he also did the same thing, much the same type of thing as Batman did, trained to bring himself to peak athleticism, and be a skilled combat artist. And also, I thought along the lines of artificial Superman. One of the things that drives me nuts is the stormtrooper syndrome, as we call it. That the heroes, if they're amid all the gunfires, as long as they're shooting back, it doesn't matter if bullets are flying all around them, or if bullets are there, they can chase, they can run away from it. And I said, let's, I'll put a force shield to him, that sends out that pulsates, senses oncoming projectiles, and forms the shield to block it. That way I have an answer there. And okay, powers aren't the most important thing. I gave him a personality. I built upon something of myself that I, as a kid, I got bullied here and there, and that was my, like I said, with inspired by Lou Ferrigno. I that ironically made it so I wasn't, I didn't have to fight at all. It in its own way, it gave me respectability. So he's a guy who came, was bullied a little bit as a kid. At the same time, it was he let his curiosities lead him to do intense studying, and I kind of did that. I was never one. I never became a true blue scientist. Math always holds me back on truly being that. So he had the smarts to put that together. The training to make himself physically equal to the tasks, and I guess I took a little bit of inspiration from Spider-Man, that with when he's in good company with those close to him, he's outgoing. If he's out in public, he tends to be standoffish, and he's not going to start a conversation with anyone stranger as good as a lot of people are like that. And but among strangers, he totally feels liberated that he can trash talk them in the fight. And I mean, and I've only hinted it in this first initial miniseries that he does have a criminal background, and what he's doing kind of atones for that. And so in subsequent issues, we're going to tell the story about how he was once a corporate spy, and he learned the hard way of what goes in there, and he also has a lot of energy that needs to be channeled to be out there and throw his weight around. So that's what said. Okay, instead of being a criminal, I'm going to channel that energy to be a crime fighter.
My goodness gracious. You had our curiosity, but now you have our attention. So that's pretty cool, man.
Thank you.
That is pretty cool. I mean, that's a very unique kind of story, if I do say so myself. And once again, this is and I quote. Don't forget to like and share. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments, or let us know in the chat. My goodness.
And I mean, the what I would say was the inspiration to give him a criminal background was, I would say Aladdin, because what I'd like to, what see there is, in spite of him being a criminal, he's got a good heart, and so I can believe that even then, interiorly inside, he wanted to do good where he could find it, and here, it gave him a better set of priorities and better focus.
Okay. All right. I totally dig it. I totally
Thank you.
totally dig it. And sounds like got a good grip on things. So what just out of curiosity, without giving too much away, what's the plan with this storyline or this series moving forward? Is it going to turn into 15, 20, 30, 50 issue series? Is there going to be a multiverse? Are you going to Kevin Feige this thing? What?
Well, I'm pretty much going to, I mean, with him, I'm going to keep him localized. And, if I expand that, it feels like the best avenue I have is with some of the people, some of the other indie creators. I've seen them cross over with each other. I can talk to them and say, why don't we try to figure out what we could do to bring our universes together.
Epic crossover, I see. Okay. I like that. Even though Egon keeps telling us don't cross the streams. Why? It could be bad. I'm a little fuzzy on the whole good bad thing. What do you mean bad? Try to imagine every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light. Total platonic reversal. Okay, that's bad. All right, very important safety tip. Thanks, Egon. Anyway, sorry, I've seen the movie a couple of times, Kerry. It's just
I've seen it, and
yeah.
I mean, there's a slight chance we'll survive, but here's the climax and everything. Like they're gonna kill. Like we have anything to be worried about when we see them come to that point.
Yeah, there's a very small chance. I love this plan. I'm happy to be a part of it. Let's do it. I mean, the movie is endlessly hilarious. It just never stops. It just keeps on going. It ramps up. First 45 minutes, I couldn't stop laughing, Kerry.
Mm.
Honestly, the whole thing with them establishing their business, going to the hotel, taking out Slimer, right, and charging that hotel clerk, $5,000 to, take care of this thing, and they don't clean up the mess that they just made. They're just like, hey, this is going to cost you $5,000 if you want to keep this thing out of your hotel. You know what I'm saying? It's genius. It's genius.
I mean, what the meme quote that sticks with me the most is dogs and cats live together, mass hysteria.
Exactly.
Finally my voice phrases.
It's great. No, hey, we appreciate. Listen. Whatever makes you the most comfortable, Kerry. It's all good, man. It's all good. We can raise our voice, lower the voice. It doesn't matter. It all works. And watching a movie, when I watch a movie, or certain movies, something comes out of me. I just start quoting it. It's why they call me Ryan the Quote. It's a good reason for that too. Goodness heavens almighty. Any special memories for you for being at conventions or signings, whether you're there as the vendor or attendee?
I'd say it was it was last year at my second appearance at it's called the Ogden Con. This is Ogden, Utah, and I've been through a number of conventions here and there, or tabling events, and I'll never forget that believe that my brand's getting out in some ways. That when one guy came across it, looked at it, and said, "Yeah, I have heard of this." So, that was that meant more to me than anything to know that I've covered some ground, that it's reached some place. Some people know about it, at least locally, and we'll see what it means. I mean, that a week from now, at least next weekend, I'm going to Provo, Utah, in the Wandering Wizards Con. So I mean, that's the farthest I've taken my brand for display. So that's going to be a real test. What's it going to be like where people down that way, where a lot of them are going to be hearing about it for the first time.
Nice. So in other words, you're ready to test your might.
Yeah.
You go there, sell a couple books, and who knows, maybe it'll become a flawless victory, or or fatality. It could be. I'm sorry, I've seen this once again. Grew up with that movie, seen it billions of times. I don't
Yeah.
care what anyone says.
Hmm.
It's my favorite. It's the best video game movie I've ever seen. And anytime Kerry Hawayuki Tagawa shows up, it's just, your soul is mine. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, it's fun. Plus, the soundtrack is banger. I mean, the soundtrack is freaking awesome. So,
Yeah.
if you haven't heard of Techno Syndrome doing the Mortal Kombat theme, folks, do yourselves a favor. Turn it up to 11. All right. Seriously. No, seriously, Kerry. Turn it up to 11 and just enjoy the living frack out of that thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun,
Exactly.
dun, dun, dun.
Exactly. I'm just curious,
Something like
though, if you played the video game, whether it's the earliest iteration of it or later iterations of it, which character would you play as? Who's your fighter? Just curious.
Well, I played it only a few times, but feels like most of the time it's been Johnny Cage.
Johnny Cage wins. Sorry. Got the video game now on the brain. Thanks, guys. No, that's a good choice. It's a good choice. I like his, it's like a super kick that he does as a combo. Where I like that. That's kind of cool. And he's going to be center stage of the new movie that's out right now, Mortal Kombat 2, with Carl Urban taking over the role. So
yeah,
we'll see how that goes, right, folks?
Yeah.
All you gotta do is just test your might, buy a ticket, go to the theater, watch the movie. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing it. So.
Yeah, he's he's not going to be he's not going to be with him unless there's some contract dispute. I don't see them offing him as quickly as they did in the original franchise.
Right, with Mortal Kombat Annihilation getting his neck broken by Shao Kahn.
Yeah,
of Outworld.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it when I saw what.
Yeah, I was shocked too. I really was. But then again, more than half the cast was recast anyway.
Yeah.
So to a certain extent, they were what is known in Star Wars. It's known as bantha fodder.
Yeah.
Or cannon fodder. Whatever. You know what I mean? It's just throw them to the wolves. Why don't you? I don't know. It tends to happen sometimes in this business. Oh, good heavens almighty. Who is a writer, living or dead, you would love to have a conversation with?
Oh, I've got some background noise. Repeat that.
Oh, I said, who's a writer, living or dead, you would love to have a conversation with?
Writer.
Yeah. Anybody.
Back to Jeff Lowe.
Okay.
I mean, what he seems. I mean, he does a lot with captions that show kind of interior thoughts. And I mean, that's one of those things that's off of the danger zone that you can easily overdo. So I want to hear his what he has to say on just what he does to know that he doesn't do that too much, because that's narration. That's always something that I've enjoyed, and I'm always aware that I overdo.
Okay, all right. Nothing wrong with that. Jeff Loeb has done a lot in this business, and he's put together some wonderful storylines featuring legendary characters. So, no doubt about that. What is one comic book that belongs on everyone's bookshelf that is not one that you've written?
One comic book
or graphic novel, either one.
Graphic novel. I would say Batman Long Halloween, because Batman's my favorite mainstream. So it's that. It's got Batman, Tim Sale, awesome artist, and he knows how to. I mean, we know that from doing Superman for All Seasons that it's not just that he knows how to Superman for All Season. We see the very much the Norman Rockwell look of Superman's world, whereas with Batman he gives a very gloomy look. You can though you don't see it, I don't believe it's ever in there, but I believe you, and you look back and say, I think I saw steam coming out of the streets. So the art's great and the story's great.
Okay. All right. Interesting. All right. I may have, if I've read it before, great. If not, I'm gonna have to add it to my TBR, because my TBR is like 600 miles long, Kerry. I'm so sorry. No, I'm serious. It's absolutely awful. You look behind us here in our studio. This whole bookshelf is TBR. It's terrible. It's just the worst thing in the world. All this is TBR. There are two piles over here. I don't know if we can see this on the other side of the studio. No, we can't. It's kind of blocking the image there. But there's many books over here on this side of the studio that are TBR. And then there's a shelf over here on this shelf that's TBR. It's very bad, folks. It's very bad. Can creators, and by the way, I respect all creators out there, but can you do us a favor? Stop publishing so many gosh darn books and so many gosh darn comics every year, because I can't buy everything. I'm not the
Yeah.
richest. I am not, honestly, Kerry, no disrespect, but it's like I'm not the richest man in the world, but stop publishing. Take a 5-year hiatus. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
If you have creative muscles and creative juices, Kerry, you want to stretch those muscles every single day, right?
yeah.
So you got to keep writing. People say the average should be 500 words a day. That's what I've heard. I'm not saying this is fact. I'm saying this is what I've heard. Do you have any thoughts on that? Like how many words should a person attempt to write each day?
Good question. 500 sounds average, and I mean,
Average. Yeah.
interesting how I've only recently gone on a little bit of a health. I don't work out like as much as I used to. I do a lot of walking, and keeping track of my activity. It used to be I paid so much attention to how many miles I walked per day. Now, because it's part of a incentive I picked up for my work, I know that if I walk around my block I'm going to get about 120 steps. So I got a handle on that. I don't have a handle on how many words I can expect to write, but I'll start with the average of 500, and I'll say somewhere between 500 and 1,000.
There you go. That works. You sure you don't want to bid $1, Bob? No, I'm just kidding. $1, Bob. It's actual retail price of the showcase. No, I'm just kidding.
$1, Bob.
That's what we watched when
Yeah,
we were under
$2
the weather and
sometimes.
we were home from school. We would watch Price is Right every single time, Carrie.
Yeah.
Every single time. And me personally, I don't know how anyone else feels about this. And my favorite game was always Plinko. Plinko is where you drop the little discs down that chute and you try to get $10,000 with each one. That was my favorite. That was my favorite game on Price. And I'm talking about OG Price is Right. Okay, I'm not talking about the Drew Carey era because that doesn't exist. But when you talk about Bob Barker, it's Plinko for me. I don't know. Did you have a favorite, Carey? Is there a favorite game on there?
Yeah, I keep hearing. I mean, my wife, she says that she was on Price is Right, she want Plinko. I mean, whenever I watch Plinko, it looks like the.
Zigzag.
I mean, I've got proxy nervousness up, sky high, watching that and saying, okay, that's going to hit the zero.
Oh,
but me, it's that one. I'd say it's the dice game.
Oh yeah. You got to roll it across the line. Guess
Right.
the if you roll a number and it's correct, it'll ding ding ding. But if it's not, you gotta say, is the next number higher or lower
Yes.
than what you just rolled?
Yes.
So, yeah, the dice games. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a good one. By the way, I like that one, Carrie. That's another good one. I'd probably put that in my top 10, top 5.
Yeah.
Favorite games, when it comes to the game show. I think it was Plinko, dice game, the mountain climber.
Matt, yeah, we were all thinking on the same plane because that's what was going through my mind. Love that bit.
The mountain climber. I think it was was it called mountain climber? I can't remember. It was, gosh, here's one that people had difficulty with if you weren't a golfer. Hole in one. Hole in one. You had to hit, you win all 5, 6 prizes, whatever it is. If you can get a hole in one, and you have to guess like certain prizes, you can get the flag closer to the hole on the green.
Yeah.
So that was another one. Yeah, hole in one or hole in two, because if you miss the first one, they give you a second attempt. Trying to think.
I kind of like that the timer thing where you had to guess the price.
Oh, higher or lower? Yeah. Guess the price. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it would sometimes they would have it nailed. Once they came within like 10 of it, they knew either go down 10, go up 10, and they would hit it. Yep. And I mean, some of them would just totally just fall apart mentally, and not even remember where they were, where they could get close, and just couldn't do it. So that would probably be me.
Oh, geez, Carrie, come on. No, I think you would do fine. I think you would win the game, whatever game they would put you in. And number 1 and number 2, you would probably spin the wheel. You would win a little bit of coin there, and then you would make it to the Showcase Showdown. And then if you bid the right way, which, most of the time contestants, it could go either way. It's a 50-50 split. I think you'd be able to bid a close enough, price to the overall price of that showcase. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not easy to do, but I think you could do it, Carrie. So, just saying, if you ever end up on The Price is Right, let us know. We'll watch your episode. I'll watch it with 100% supporting fist pumps. Be like, that's my man. That's Gary. That's my man. So,
So my Cliff Clavin tendencies,
mhm.
just like Cliff Clavin ended up on on Jeopardy. I can tell you that I was once at my in-laws'
Mhm.
house when Jeopardy was on, and here I was playing along, like I always tend to do, and I mean I was getting in enough responses that my brother-in-law was sitting next to me. He said, "Why don't you play this?" So I can tell you that much.
There you go. Who knows? Maybe we'll be on the next episode of Jeopardy. We can cheer on Carrie from afar in our television sets. So.
Well, I'm screwed when it's when the categories are chemistry or Shakespeare.
Oh, yeah. Shakespeare's a deep cut. Yeah. In
So,
chemistry, I
yeah.
wasn't really good at science classes growing up as a kid, Carrie, so I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I'm usually just interjecting. Midsummer Night's Dream.
Yeah. What was the other one? Midsummer Night's Dream, Othello, Hamlet. What's
Merchant from Venice.
Richard? Yeah.
I'm picking up on some. I'm picking up on some of those titles.
Romeo and Juliet. I don't know.
Yeah. My daughter. She has to read more Romeo and Juliet. She's always coming from school. Romeo and Juliet sucks.
Really? Oh, she doesn't like it very much, huh?
No.
Now, is she reading the complete story of Romeo and Juliet, or is she reading what is known as the Spark Notes?
I think they're. I believe they're reading it. I mean,
okay.
They don't have the teachers I had, but going to the same school I went to.
Oh.
And I mean, I can remember. I know that the teacher purposefully skipped over one that involved I want to say involved breastfeeding.
Oh,
so I don't know if nowadays that they're where that they don't censor that, or if they actually go through with that. Who knows?
Yeah, you're right. That is a good question. That's a complicated web. That's a tangled web that the educational system can weave. But anywho, it's Shakespeare, the Bard, a lot of history there, folks. A lot of history, lots and lots and lots of history. But there are different ways to read about it. There are different ways to explore it. Whether you want, I'm not condoning this necessarily. If you want to use the Spark Notes, you want to use the books that are translated into modern English, which they do have available, by the way. Go ahead and use those because what's his name? Shakespeare's I can't understand a gosh darn thing he's saying. Give me the modern English translation, and we'll go from there, and I'll read it, and then I'll get back to you. So let's just put that one there and put it to rest, as they say. Well, gee willikers, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you so much to Kerry Chugg for being our guest on this week's episode of And I Quote. Kerry, thank you for being here and
thank you, Ryan,
sharing about your series and some of the things you hope to do and the plans you have moving into the future. Now, if someone wants to know more about you, purchase copies of your comics, where can they follow you?
So go to indieplanet.com/sledge. I'm still waiting for that number 4 issue to finally be up for order. KC the Sledge Storyteller, that's the name of both my Instagram and YouTube channel. And my YouTube channel, my latest thing, it feels like my bread and butter has to be, and I'm having a blast in doing it, is talking about public domain superheroes and what are worth reviving, what are worth putting into movies. And KC the Sledger, that's what I have in Blue Sky. X, that's KC the Sledge Storyteller, and on Facebook my comic page is Ben Peak. That basically the imprint label I put on it is Ben Peak Comics.
Gosh, I thank you so much for being here with us, kind sir. I'm going to talk to you here again momentarily, so stick around for me. The links are located in the description of this video. It's where you can follow Kerry and myself. My name is Ryan. You can follow me across all forms of social media simply at And I Quote Channel. Where am I pointing to? Where is it? There it is. That's where you can follow me and all the wonderful things we're doing. We do movie watch-alongs on Friday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We do And I Quote normally on Saturdays, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And sometimes we do some special areas of programming on the weekend. So tune in, join us. I have a short story. It's called Wolf of the West, which is a straight-up Western, which can be found in Western Tales Volume 1, published by Veritas Entertainment, available in ebook, paperback, and hardcover. And also, we are on the road to 5,000 subscribers. Once we do, we'll have a live stream that will include special giveaways that you, the person who's watching or listening to this right now, are going to be eligible to win. And the seasons are changing, so we have hoodies, shirts. We have stickers you can add to your water bottles, coffee mugs, all kinds of wonderful things. on sale right now in our Redbubble store. Links are in the description in my link tree, or they're located in our social media bios. So thank you so much for being a part of this episode of And I Quote. And a friendly neighborhood reminder is to simply like, comment, share, subscribe, ring the bell to be notified when the videos go up or they go live. And remember, life is better when supporting indie creators from all over the world. Take a look.
I've been a superhero for a long time. It used to be so simple. You catch the bad guys, do the right thing, save the world. Then I met Aiden, and things got complicated.
Iris recruited me as a kid and turned me into their own personal weapon. I couldn't see any way out until I met Marty. But now we're going to burn their entire organization down if we can.
Forces of Nature, books 1 and 2, Scorcher and Thin Ice are available now wherever books are sold online. See www.kellygentner.com.
There it is. Luckily for you, you won't have to go through half of what I went through to get your copy. All you have to do is place an order. Treasure is My Trade is out now. Don't miss your chance.
Good morning! Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.